Welcome to the Roanoke Real Estate Podcast with your host and realtor, the Frazier Hughes Experience, and do not forget to Hughes it or lose it.
Adjust that MacBook volume right there for you.
It's another suburban summer, the street lights blink on. If you're passing the house on the corner,
Roanoke Real Estate Podcast, Star City. I am Frazier Hughes, the Frazier Hughes Experience Realtor. Hey, thanks for joining me today for the Roanoke Real Estate Podcast. And right now we are listening to the song's called Bodies. The group is the Knox and Muna. It's on Apple's Today's Chill channel. I love music. As some of you know, I was a radio personality, which leads right into the Roanoke Real Estate Podcast. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Virginia. Also, some of my expertise working for a real estate investment company, dealing with flip houses, assigning contracts. Also, I am a writer for the Roanoke Valley Business Front. You can see my publication every other month, where I write about real estate. And today we are discussing real estate in the podcast. And hey, thanks so much for joining me. The market has been, really interesting here in Roanoke as COVID hit and people were questioning, hey, is the real estate market going to do really well? I mean, is it going to do well? And our city here had a record month, and our city is broad. The Roanoke Valley truly is Salem, Vinton, Smith Mountain Lake, Blue Ridge. Headed up towards even Covington, Lexington, Botetourt County, covering those areas even up into Ironto, Elliston, and then as you go out up towards Floyd as well. So, it's not just Roanoke, but we do live in this valley here, surrounded by the mountains, and we broadcast on the podcast from the valley and beyond to all these territories where I can also help you sell and find your home. But we are much larger than just Roanoke. Really, we are. And, the cool thing is that the housing market during COVID, had these record numbers for the city. And now as after the elections, we were thinking, hey, you know what? COVID's going to go away and everything's going to go back to normal. Well, the real estate market has stayed hot and things have stayed normal in real estate, kind of. What's been really interesting is that, we had these, like I said, these record numbers, just closing the door to my office here, these record numbers, but now there's a shortage of houses. And if you look at the trend right now, people are staying in their homes longer and they're hanging on to their houses. So there is a shortage, and a lot of folks, and you'll hear this because I'm a listing specialist and I'm also a buyer's agent. That's one of the great gifts of being a realtor, is that you can swing both ways. All right. Hey, I know what some of you are thinking, but is that you can swing both ways to, increase your income. But a lot of the buyers are telling me, hey, these houses seem a little overpriced. Is that true? Well, the sellers are able to demand a little bit more for their homes now because there is a shortage, supply and demand. It's kind of like, if you wanted an iPhone and there's only 5 available left in your city, the price goes up tremendously. And those that can pay will play. A lot of folks are qualified for a certain amount to purchase a house. And, I'll run into, hey, we're qualified for this much, but we definitely don't want to spend that much because we want to keep our mortgage payment around X amount. But you'll see houses, priced 15, 20 grand above, sometimes higher. Sometimes you'll see this in general too. And you'll have some real estate agents, crank up the price to maybe get the listing. But all that's going to do is, in the long run, have your seller, that could be you, lowering the price. You can only go down, you can't go up, right? even though I have seen a scenario where someone got an offer on a house listed, and there was multiple offers, and they raised the price of the house by like $5 or $7 grand. They said, hey, Frazier, you know what? We're going to come back out and we're going to counter and raise the price. And I found that pretty interesting. So anyways, not a lot of houses out there. And today we are discussing home inspections. This is one of my most recent articles that I have written in the Valley Business Front that is set to come out. And maybe by the time you're listening to this, things have maybe there's maybe more houses in the Valley, or you've had an opportunity to read it. But I'm going to go into a little bit more detail than the article. And when it comes to having a home inspection, the question is, do you have a home inspection? And 99% of the time, I'm going to tell you to have a home inspection. I'm going to give you the pros. I'm going to give you the cons. Okay. Many people, and I would suggest, regardless if you ask for repairs or not, when it comes to purchasing a home, will have a home inspection. You see, not everyone is going to ask for a home inspection. It depends on the house, the situation, and the client. There's a handful of things when it comes to having a home inspection. And we're gonna break these things down for you, okay? This is to give you knowledge, all right? And then I'm gonna give you a couple different scenarios of where not having a home inspection has worked out and where it hasn't worked out, real life events. So the first thing when you go to make an offer on a house is that most people do ask for the home inspection. And when it comes to the home inspection, it's all in the purchase agreement. So when you go to purchase a house, you've got the address on there, both agents, you've got the amount that you're going to offer for the house, type of loan you're going to have, and then you're going to have these certain addenda disclosures. And these can roll into having the home inspection, which is the inspection addendum, which is a second part to the contract. So the first thing is that you're going to want to ask for the home inspection. Now, I think it could be, every now and then maybe an agent could, forget to click on that box, but when the addenda comes, the other agent's going to know that the buyers are here to get a home inspection. Rarely do you see this happen, but on the contract, it says this contract is subject to one or more inspections. In the event that a purchaser elects to include the inspection contingencies, the inspection addendum will be executed and become a part of this contract. Now, when you ask for an inspection, you can ask for a certain amount of repairs. Now, if you want to, you can ask for more than $1,000, depending on the price of the house and what kind of condition it is in. Typically, people ask for about $1,000 in repairs. There's a few major things that come up in a home inspection that really need to be taken care of and have to be taken care of. And this is going to be a roof that's leaking, plumbing issues, and things that are mechanical like your HVAC. And you will have your inspector walk into the house and check these things out. Now, the inspector does more than just that. The inspector will check every nook and cranny of the home. Some inspectors shoot videos, and when you get your inspection back, you might have a video with it. How much does a home inspection cost? Before we continue, well, anywhere from $400 and some change up to $600 or more, just depending on what kind of inspector you have. Now, I like to use a handful of. I'd like to give a few different inspectors a shot just to see how they communicate, their pricing, and what kind of things that they cover in the home inspection. The one thing that you can do in additional terms on a contract is purchaser may void contract if they are dissatisfied with any inspections. Now, this really gives you as the buyer an opportunity to back out, even if a doorknob is not working. So some other realtors that are the selling agent may not accept this. They may just say, hey, look, let's just try to get to the finish line and just put in here, home inspection, $1,000 in repairs. And we'll have the inspector check out the house. And if anything weird comes up, we'll take care of it. If not, the buyer has an opportunity to back out. So, these home inspections are here to protect you. The home inspection is here to, let you do your due diligence on the house to make sure that it's in good condition. So in case something comes up, you can say, hey, I don't want the house. The home inspection, includes your regular home inspection, radon. Most people test for radon, even though it could be left blank. A well, if they have a well, septic inspection, wood infestation inspection, inflow and infiltration, as I mentioned. And I just had gone over these here just a second ago, but this is following the contract verbatim. And then additional structures or systems to be inspected in case there's something that looks weird when you look at the house. You can have the inspector check it out. But I also put in my contract any additional inspections recommended by the home inspector. Now, hey, how long do you have to do an inspection? Well, you can put in the contract about 1,000 days, but that's not going to fly, right? Typically 5 days or 7 business days to do the home inspection. So I had a house under contract on a Friday, had the home inspector out there on a Tuesday, and then we asked for radon. It is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. And the radon box gets put in at the time of the home inspection. So if they do a home inspection on, say, a Tuesday, typically they get the radon tester back on a Thursday. So who pays for this? Well, you as the buyer pay for the home inspection, unless it's, a very unique situation. You pay for the radon as well, which could be about $100 more. The well, septic, and wood, which is termites, you can ask the seller to pay for it, or you can pay for it yourself. It just depends on how competitive you want your offer to be. If you're paying for it yourself, you're letting the seller know that, hey, you know what? I'm going to take care of all these payments. So you don't have to make this as flawless and seamless as possible and have the best offer possible. The best offer possible really could be no home inspection, because then the seller's thinking, hey, we don't have to deal with this or any repairs. This might be my best offer right here, and the type of loan you have as well. So let's break down the home inspection. I think that you should have a home inspection, because if you don't, some serious things could happen that can really upset you. Now, the home inspection, as I mentioned, covers 3 major things, like a leaking roof, plumbing, or mechanical. Now, the purpose of a home inspection is to discover defects. And this is coming right from the real estate contract here in Virginia. The term defects can be defined or shall be defined as any of the following: plumbing, including well pump, and septic system, if any; heating, air conditioning, if any; electrical, air system, and appliances that are not in safe and working order. I'm going to continue that here in just a second, but sometimes you'll see in a listing in private remarks that the appliances pass as is, like a dishwasher or a washer and dryer, because they could be older and really are not a huge part of the sale unless you get into a luxury home of $500,000, $400,000 or more. $500,000 is considered a luxury home, or maybe $400,000, $300,000 where you have a really nice refrigerator and you want it to work. But right here it'll say, the appliances are not in safe working order, and you might have the listing agent just say it passes that as is. That there are structural defects, roof leaks. Cosmetic items, matters of preference, or grandfather systems or features that are properly functioning that would not comply with the current building codes if constructed or installed today will not be considered a defect. So cosmetic, you could have a loose piece of laminate or tile that is chipped, and they're not obligated to fix that. The fact that a structural element, system, or subsystem is near or beyond its normal useful life is not by itself a defect. So you could have the inspector come in and say, hey, you know what, this is an older hot water heater, even though it's still working well, and the seller's not obligated to fix it. But they will tell you, hey, look, this only has a few years left. The home inspection and any subsequent inspections shall be at the purchaser's expense and shall be limited to the primary dwelling. Failure to complete the inspection within the specified time period shall forfeit the purchaser's right to conduct inspections. Now, this is pretty interesting because if you want to have your home inspection done in 5 to 7 business days, that's important that as your agent, you get it done. And I set that up for you, and I'm out there with the inspector.